The more trained you are, you know how hard it is to put on skeletal muscle?
It's hard.
It is impossible. Have you ever met a girl say, I just am not going to, I'm afraid I'm going to get bulky. I'm going to really train hard, but I'm afraid I'm going to get bulky. In the history of never, I've never seen that. I've seen thousands of patients. No one has ever said, well, I'm getting too bulky.
I think you have like these fit influencers on Instagram now that, many females who probably are taking other kinds of substances. Right. And so, but that's not how your average female is going to look once they start resistance training.
No, you're going to look better. You're going to have tighter skin. You're going to likely be smaller. You're going to have better body composition. You're going to improve your inflammatory markers. You're going to improve your glucose control because you have more skeletal muscle. Muscle is your metabolic currency. It is the largest site for glucose disposal. When you think about your resting metabolic rate, muscle is it. Muscle is incredibly underappreciated. And especially as you transition to perimenopause, menopause, the more muscle you can put on in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, the better you're going to be because it becomes more difficult. The higher the protein intake, the better the bone density.
Wow.
Because bone is made of protein. There's multiple meta-analysis, so a group of really high-quality papers that have come out. It actually improves kidney function. It improves glomerular filtration rate.
Are these in people with healthy kidneys?
Yeah. If you are healthy, they've never seen an individual consume too much protein. Everybody thinks that the more protein you eat, it's bad for your bones. That is totally false. And again, we looked at some of this at WashU, that the higher the protein intake with resistance training, the better the bone density. The resistance training piece is really missed. People talk a lot about yoga, talk a lot about Pilates, and then it's really important to do resistance training, and it doesn't have to be heavy. And I cringe when I say that, but the data supports that as long as you have enough volume going to failure. I do recommend calcium in my practice. I recommend calcium, vitamin D, K2. And also in certain amounts, you can't just take a whole bolus of calcium all at once. That's not what is recommended.
And I'm using air quotes, balanced meal look like for you?
So I don't know if I believe in the balance, and I'm just being truthful. I think that the number one thing that you have to do is you have to determine your ideal body weight. Mm-hmm. I'm 125 pounds. I'll keep that as an ideal body weight. I'll have 125 grams of protein. How you build a baseline nutrition plan. Mm-hmm. After that, I think about, do you like carbohydrates or do you like fat? I personally don't eat many carbohydrates. And if you think about it, for every 100 grams of protein you eat, you generate 60 grams of carbohydrates.
Wow.
So an individual could do a largely, protein-based diet and generate all the glucose they need through gluconeogenesis. It's okay if I overshoot protein because protein is very difficult to store as fat. There's never been any negative studies. They've gone up to 3.3 grams per kilogram easily.
Wow.
And we've never seen any detrimental effects. Improves satiation, it improves body turnover, right? So we're replacing 300 grams a day. Everyone focus on gut health. One of the amino acids, threonine, is so important for mucin production, for gut health. Our immune cells utilize these amino acids for health. It's so under-discussed and so important. Breakfast is eggs. We have a little infant, so it's whatever is easy. Maybe 5 eggs, whole eggs.
You're not also thinking got to get my fiber.
No, I don't actually.
You don't?
And I'm not sure what I think about this whole fiber situation. I think it really depends on the gut microbiome. But I can tell you from my clinical experience in NF1, which is not quite important, that I don't need it. And I have a ton of patients that do well without it.